new Druid Travel forms. And this is actually some cool stuff. So, there is the Sable Arden Moth, or whatever it's called. Yep. Yeah, Arden Moth. And then the Shimmering Arden Moth. So, there's 4 new Druid forms that are coming, and there's 2 color tints for each. Travel forms. Now, being able to be a moth as your travel form, that's really nice. Cool. Yeah. Duskwing Raven is this guy, so you got to be a raven, which, I mean, a lot of people would find that to be cool, given Atish, and all of that.
Khadgar reference, is he here?
Yeah, well, there you go. So yeah, we got some birds. We have got Dreadbat, which will appeal to some people. Less my cup of tea. Honestly, I am more just a fan of the things that are kind of traditionally pretty. So there's that. And then for a ground one, we have got the Twilight Runestag. So not only can you basically earn this as a mount, you can also be that, which also is pretty cool. And now that I think about it, look, if you have these assets and they make sense for a druid character, let them have it.
Yeah.
Let them have it. It's going to fit well. And certainly with druids, they give up some aspects of their character having a transmog because they're in a beast form. So if that's going to be the thing, let's give them more beast forms. I mean, you're already making loads of beasts anyway.
Absolutely. That's I see someone saying the mage is Raven. I think it's specifically they intend for these to be like kind of like a Worgen Druid would make sense as a Raven, because that kind of entire aesthetic is very, very dusky, very Gilneasy in a sense.
Yeah.
So I mean maybe someday Ravens will get or mages will get a Raven form, but I doubt it somehow. But I think the way to earn these as well is, I believe it's all through inscription. I'm not actually completely sure how to earn the recipes yet.
Oh.
But they are, they aren't just going, fuck it, have these or use anima on them. They have went out of their way to go, okay, learn these via some player engagement mechanics. Some, you can spend gold on them, or you can go and learn them and make them yourself. So they are giving it a little bit more effort than the bare minimum.
That's good.
Yeah, which is, a good precedent to set.
Yeah, so there's that. I think happy days for the druids. This isn't, I mean, something that's nice to have. I don't think people really ask for it, and that's when it's nice to be surprised. So
yeah, I mean,
that's good shit.
That's the whole thing. This isn't going to bring people back to the game. This isn't going to cause like a massive resurgence of players. But if they only did things that would do that, we wouldn't have any nice stuff. So they're filling the game with nice stuff, which is when you go back and it's full of nice stuff, then you're happier.
Exactly. So that's really great to see. Moving on, there's new Nightfae Soulshapes. Look, I'll tell you what my opinion is on this. Now, it is, like, pretty cool, all these critter shapes as well. Like, I do think that's all cool, and then you can see here, Wowhead have got a whole bunch. And I think they can do so many of these because this essentially is just a shader applied on top of a model that already exists, which means that it's very easy to farm these out.
Yep.
As a Nightfae, I would care more about this if it was something that permanently stood to my character. And this is just another example of, this is like a cosmetic version of Borrowed Power. Like, I know I could always use these when I go to the Shadowlands, but because I know I'm not going to be in the Shadowlands forever, I don't really care about earning them. But it certainly is nice to have, and I really like this feature, and it would be cool if there was a way that Blizzard could just give us some way to, like, use the Soulshapes. I don't exactly know how they would do that, though.
The only way I can think of is for shamans, maybe? But just because, shamans have had the basically the worst end of the stick substantially versus druids when it comes to, like, the wolf form. I mean, it's a minor thing, but you imagine the text there and go, fuck it, there you go. Have some of your ships, maybe some of them.
It would feel bad if you'd been a hunter and you don't get soul shapes anymore.
Yeah, so, but that's kind of thing. It's like, it's those problems that I think, well, are you going to say, well, shamans, sorry, you don't get anything cool because we can't figure out a way to give to everyone else? Or they go, shamans, take a couple. Take a wee couple. The ones that make sense for a shaman, go ahead. So I get what you mean, but I kind of think it's this thing where, it would make some shamans happy. Other people would maybe feel jealous, but
I would say change the color values of that, just of that shader or material or whatever. Change it to something else to make it work for the shaman elements. But Borrowed Power kind of sucks. Borrowed cosmetics are way less of a problem and also really not much of a thing in terms of frequency, but this is like the one time where they kind of are. So some way where we could have these in a bit more of a permanent basis would be cool if they could make it, you know, happen. Because the thing is, if just everybody has a movement ability with a blink forever, I mean, we can't have that, right? So it would have to be no extra move speed and just a regular thing, or I don't know, share cooldowns with some other movement speed mechanic. I'm not.
Here's the actual solve. The actual solve is a toy with a very generous cooldown, so people can just use it in rested zones.
Yeah, fair.
It would use the selected one that you have from Shadowlands. So you might have to go back to the Shadowlands to change it if you wanted to. But there you go, toy using rested areas. Sounds good.